Lately, there's been so much information coming out about Devon and Levon that I haven't talked much about other pullers, but a few days ago we saw a video of ERMES GASPARINI training with Rolly Ray and I found it very interesting. In this video, we saw ERMES trying a very heavy single on a variation of the Devon Larratt pronation lift. Let's take a look at the clip. So ERMES manages to barely get 67 kilos or 147 pounds, but his arm angle does end up getting opened quite a bit. But still, very solid lift from ERMES, although it is quite a bit less than either Devon or Levon. And I think it's super interesting to see all of these top-level arm wrestlers trying Devon's lift. And they all do it in a slightly different way than Devon does. However, I don't think that the change in technique makes a massive difference as to what the lift tells us about these arm wrestlers. The most interesting difference I see between someone like Devon and someone like ERMES is the correlation between their pronation and their elbow flexion. ERMES and Devon have an inverse correlation between these two vectors. Devon has a super strong pronator, probably the second strongest pronator in the super heavyweight division, but he doesn't have the strongest elbow flexor. Probably Gennady, ERMES, Levon, Denis, Morozov, and Georgi all have stronger elbow flexors than Devon does. Whereas ERMES is in a different boat. ERMES likely has a stronger elbow flexor than anyone except Levon, and even with Levon it's pretty close. However, his pronation is weaker than Devon and Levon, and potentially even people like Alex Krdecha, Vitaly, Georgi, etc. In other words, ERMES would destroy Devon on any elbow flexor only lift, but once you change the lift to an elbow flexor and pronation lift, Devon is going to lift more than ERMES. So what I'm super interested to see is how both of these guys end up doing against Levon. Levon probably has the greatest cupping in the history of the sport, so he is probably the very best test imaginable of an athlete's ability to crack their opponent's wrist back. Historically, ERMES has put a much higher emphasis on the importance of elbow flexion over pronation, whereas Devon has put a higher emphasis on the level of importance of pronation. We've already seen ERMES with his near 100 kilogram back pressure get a stop on Levon and have an absolute war with him, but there was never a moment when he fully cracked Levon's wrist back, although he did challenge it significantly. And as everyone and their grandma knows, and apparently Mark Wahlberg, Devon is pulling Levon in 1 month on April 20th. And we're going to get to see how effective Devon's training has been. We're going to get a bit of insight as to what the best way to train for arm wrestling is. If your goal is to crack someone's wrist back, is ERMES' rocking back pressure lift better, or is Devon's strange squatting pronation back pressure lift better? So just to make this fun, we'll pose the question in this way. If you could choose between ERMES' 92 kilograms of rocking back pressure and Devon's 74-ish kilograms of pronation and back pressure, which one would you rather have? In the past, I definitely would have gone with ERMES' back pressure, but over the last year, Devon's ability to crack someone's wrist has been super effective. I'm hoping that the Devon versus Levon match will give us even more insight into this question. And we are now exactly 1 month out from today.